Lesson 2. Dialogue Script. Useful expressions. Let's move on. Let's move on. Talking about. Talking about. It seems. It seems. Let's look at. Let's look at. Try to catch. Try to catch. Meaning and examples. Let's move on to change from one subject to another when you are talking or writing. Let's move on to the next topic. Or you may also say, let's go on to the next topic. Move from. Move from. To change one job or interest to another. You changed to it. He moved from being an extramural tutor to being a lecturer in social history. In the early days, Christina moved jobs to get experience. Move to, move to, change to a new topic in a conversation. You start talking about something different. Let's move to another subject, Dan. Move towards, move towards, change to a particular state, activity, or opinion. You start to be in that state, do that activity, or have that opinion. Since the convention was drawn up, international opinion has begun to move against it. Talking about, talking about, to say words in order to express one's thoughts, feelings, opinions, to discuss, to add emphasis. She still talks about your wedding and how perfect it was. We were talking about last night's game. All his plays have such ridiculous plots. Talk about good drama. Seems, give the impression of being something or having a particular quality. Used to make a statement less forceful. Be unable to do something despite having tried. Don seemed annoyed. It would seem that he has been fooling us all. He couldn't seem to remember his lines. Look at. Move eyes to see someone or something. Think about something carefully. Read something. Examine something. Used for giving an example. Express a surprise, disappointment, disinterest, negative impression about an appearance, giving different opinion. He turned and looked at her. We're looking carefully at all the options. Would you like me to look at your essay before you hand it in? I'd like a skin specialist to look at that rash of yours. Look at Helen. She's much happier now. She's changed jobs. Look at you. It's 11 o'clock and you're still in bed. Look at you, all dressed up in a suit. I wouldn't look twice at someone like him. He's not much to look at, but he has a great personality. Looked at one way, the project is beneficial for people. Looked at another way, it will cost the taxpayer a pretty penny. Try to catch. Catch something that someone has said. You manage to hear it. His ears caught a faint cry. His ears caught a faint cry. I do not believe I caught your name. The men out in the corridor were trying to catch what they said. Now, let's move on to this week's dialogue. Tyler and Nana are talking about the best season to visit Japan. That's right, and it seems that they have different opinions. Before we listen to the dialogue, let's look at some important words. They will help you understand what Tyler and Nana are talking about. Vinay, what is the first word? The first one is relatives. Relatives. Relatives is another word for members of your family. That's right, but usually not your close family, like your parents or brothers and sisters. Relatives usually mean uncles, aunts, cousins, etc. I see. Ananda, what's the next one? The next one is petal. Petal. Okay, Vinay, how many petals does a Somi Yoshino cherry blossom have? Oh, four or five? That's right, five. So a petal is a part of a flower. It's usually very colorful. Now you are ready to listen to the dialogue. Try to catch the main idea of Tyler and Nana's conversation. A couple of different recommendations. Good points. Practical questions for prepared answers. Number one, can you tell me about your family? Can you tell me about your family? How often do you see your relatives? How often do you see your relatives? How do you keep in touch or connect with your relatives? How do you keep in touch or connect with your relatives? What are the good qualities you can see in your family culture or family traditions? What are the good qualities you can see in your family culture or family traditions? How does nature speak of God's love? How does nature speak of God's love? What are the spiritual insights or lessons that you may get from flowers? What are the spiritual insights or lessons that you may get from flowers? Later in the class, we will have practical questions, but for surprised answers. I hope that you will enjoy the surprise questions and make you think more and deeper on the subject. Thank you so much for taking your time. See you in class.